Hey everybody, Blaine here for Bridgefourgames, and we have another Series 10 event recap for you. This one was actually hosted by GForcePkmn, and I actually found the event in the SSBG, that's like a Smogon battling group on Facebook, and they made a nice promotional banner for the top cut teams and all that, so we have all those teams today. We're going to take a look at it. What's interesting is we do see some of those trends of how the metagame is shifting to some new mons. We also see some returning faces from players who have gotten top 8s elsewhere. So without any further ado, let's get started. But before we hop over, let me just go ahead and ask you that if you like our kind of content here on the channel, please make sure that you like the video and consider subscribing to the channel in order to join our amazing Pokemon community, because we have videos that go up like this every single day of the week and you're not going to want to miss them. All right, let's take a look at the teams. All right, first up here we have Gilberto. His name is Brasseg257. So we see a fairly standard team here. We see a Regieleki and Xerneas team here, paired up with the three amigos, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Volcarona.
The three amigos!
And finishing it up, of course, with an Urshifu Water. I mean, look guys, there's not that much to say about this. I mean, it's a pretty cut and dry kind of team, you know. It's good. It's good because obviously it wins, but it's got Xerneas as your tentpole, along with a perfect defensive core of Rillaboom, Xerneas, and Volcarona, paired up with speed control through Regieleki and a way to pop through protects with Urshifu Water. No problem. Like, you know, congrats to Gilberto for winning, but again, you know, not to take anything away from him by any means, but he's not, you know, breaking the kind of accepted mold here, and, you know, it's still cool to see, but, you know, obviously we're not going to get a lot of metagame shifts through this particular team. Moving on here to Mars VGC. I do believe Mars is a fairly well-known player, kind of like online grinder. We have a very similar design to what we see with Gilberto there. So he has Regieleki, Xerneas this time instead, or sorry, Zacian instead of Xerneas this time, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Landorus Incarnate, along with a Rillaboom, or sorry, an Urshifu Water. No Volcarona here, but it really doesn't need it. Obviously, you know, it's got that incredible speed control. It has a great check for other Zacian and for Incineroar with that Landorus there. You know, again, very kind of standard stuff, very straightforward, but very, very cool to see nonetheless. Very cool to see a lot of innovation here, you know, and kind of, you know, I'm really enjoying the fact that we're seeing that shift to Landorus Incarnate from Landorus Therian, because, you know, as little as like a year ago, nobody would have thought that would ever be a thing, and now it is. Alright, moving on to number 3 here, we have Zygor. Zygor has actually topped a couple of Series 10 events with this exact team, and we have covered it before on the channel, but we're going to do another cover of it real quick. So we have a Tornogre, Tornadus, and Kyogre. Again, this is pretty well-known stuff. Speed control plus Kyogre Water Spout equals death to everything. And we see it does have Serena, the new up-and-coming grass type of the format, the best up-and-comer here, because it does stop those Rillaboom Grassy Glides, which is something Kyogre really wants to avoid. And then he also has Nidoking. Obviously, if he's getting those speed boosts, and if he's getting the speed boosts from Tornadus, and he's able to block those priority moves like Fake Outs, Grassy Glides, you know, suddenly Nidoking is in a much better position to be able to actually do some serious damage here. And, you know, obviously we're seeing that play out because he did do fairly well in this event. It does have potentially Poison, Fire, Electric, Ice, Ground moves, so it's got quite a, you know, versatile set of options there. And then we see Ditto and Shedinja, the two meme mons here. Look, I don't know what you guys want me to say. I mean, so Ditto comes in and steals all these mons with boosts. I mean, just look at these things here. Like, so in the top half here, you have, it's the two best ones. You have Xerneas and Zacian, right? Both of them, like, getting set up and having all these stat boosts. And then you just plop your Ditto in and take all that, which is pretty sweet. But can also be used, you can shift it in to do things like Incineroar. That's pretty interesting. Even potentially, like, maybe a Rillaboom to get off a Grassy Glide. That'd be cool, too. So, you know, Ditto, again, I respect that he was able to use Ditto to make a top cut. That being said, I don't think I'm going to use it on a team. We'll leave it at that. And Shedinja, we've talked about this so many times. it's just very well positioned right now. That's pretty much it. And, you know, if you're going to a high-level event, make sure you bring a fire, flying, rock, move, something like that to make sure that you're able to handle this thing. All right, moving on here to Sableye VGC. No Sableye on the team, but he does have Nihilego, Yveltal, Landorus, Therian this time, Rillaboom, Volcarona, and Urshifu Water. So I don't imagine, based on the way this team looks, that Nihilego is a Trick Room variant. It could be, but a lot of his mons are on the upper echelon of speed, so he may just be using that for a sort of reactive option. He could also be using Meteor Beam, because it is pretty reasonable against a lot of the things we see these days. Yveltal is interesting. I personally, here's my thoughts on Yveltal. I love Yveltal as a Pokemon, and I think it's very well situated in the environment, you know, most of the time. But you're looking at a format that has Xerneas and Zacian in it, and for me, that would be enough for me not to bring it. But we are seeing another one here, also from Alexis, the next one down, so, you know, interesting to see for sure. But we do see, you know, that double, excuse me, we do have Fake Out options, we do have a Redirector, and we have Fake Out, or Intimidate here with Sableye, so obviously it's solid, you know, he knows what he's doing because he made top cut here, he made top 4. So, you know, certainly congrats to him. You know, Volcarona does help quite a bit with Xerneas and Zacian, so perhaps that's kind of what the plan is there, because we do see the next one down, which kind of might as well hop ahead here. Alexis is using Regieleki, Yveltal, Stack Attack, Rillaboom, Volcarona, and Urshifu. We see the same combination here, the Yveltal paired with the Volcarona. So obviously, that's kind of the plan there, is to use the Volcarona to help cover the weaknesses from the Fairy that Yveltal has. Now, do keep in mind that Tumon Core is unbelievably weak to Rock, so please don't get, you know, paired up against a Nihilego. But, you know, barring that, it does look like a really cool team, and, you know, congrats to Alexis and Sableye for using mons. They're out of, like, the top 4 restricteds, and doing really well with them. Shoutouts to you. Next up, we have Eeks TV. Shoutouts to Eeks. He's a good guy. Tom played him in the High Roller Draft League Season 1, and, you know, nothing but good things to say about him. I was supposed to play Eeks at the end of Season 1 of the High Roller League, and I was a near lock for Top Cut, and Eeks was not, so he ended up conceding to me, so we didn't have to spend a week stressing about building a team. But, you know, shoutouts to him, and shoutouts for him making top 8 here. We have Mimikyu, a Groudon. Very interesting choices here so far, because we have not seen many Groudons. We've not seen many Mimikyus also. And then he has Togekiss, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Cherrim. I think that's Cherrim or Truby. It's whatever that one is, because I've never actually used Cherrim in any competitive sense here. During Harsh Sunlight, Flower Gift increases the attack and special defense stats of Pokemon with this ability by 1.5. Okay, very cool. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so it juices its attack and special defense by a bit. Okay, so Cherrim is coming in with a 60 attack that becomes 120. That's pretty reasonable. 78 special defense, that becomes... Oh, it's 1.5. So it gets in the 120s. That's pretty okay. Let's see. So it's got a lot of the normal grass moves, you know, Petal Blizzard, that kind of stuff. I have to assume he went physical here because he's rocking that that ability there, the Flower Gift, and it seems like he actually wants to use that for, you know, some kind of benefit here. So, yeah, originally I thought this could be like a Sleep Powder Mon. When I saw it, I kind of just mentally wrote it off as that, but, oh, it doesn't seem to get that. Okay, well then, let's look back at that team real quick. It does, okay, so Eeks is also using Rillaboom. It does get Grassy Glide, which could be interesting. You know, you can have a double Grassy Glide mon. Like, I guess, okay, if you're in Eeks' position, right, you gotta think to yourself, Eeks, I really don't want to deal with Kyogres, so I might as well have 2, you know, ways to use it there. Let's see. It's got Tickle. That's not really all that great. It's a fine supporting move, but it's better in Draft League than anything else. Yeah, it just has a lot of really interesting moves. Like, it has, you know, Pollen Puff, Play Rough, that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's just a good, consistent type of thing. But yeah, it's very interesting to see that mod make Top Cut, because I don't know if I've ever seen it make Top Cut on a team before. So shoutouts to Eeks. That really speaks to his you know, creativity and his knowledge of the environment and his ability to adapt to a changing environment. We don't know what was on that Togekiss. I imagine it's probably a Focus Sash. We've seen that a couple times now. It's just a good way to, you know, soak up damage. Kind of basic stuff here. Moving down to our second Groudon team here, we have Regieleki, Groudon, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Drifblim, and Nihilego. Drifblim is very cool. Shouts to Chelsea Fan. I love Drifblim, so I'm very glad somebody was able to use that effectively. We do see, look, this individual has got speed control up the wazoo. I mean, they have an Electro Web option, they have a Tailwind option, they have a Trick Room option, so they have everything covered. That being said, I don't know quite what Nihilego is doing here. You know, obviously, it's a very good answer for Xerneas, and Groudon is a fairly decent answer for Zacian, so I imagine the two of them have it pretty well covered. Because, yeah, Groudon is considerably more vulnerable to Xerneas now that it lost its fire typing from when it was a primal, but that being said, still, you know, Nihilego is good to fill in that spot. And then we see the normal, you know, Rillaboom and Incineroar stuff. We don't need to touch on why that's solid. Drifblim has a lot of options. It almost assuredly was a seed with Tailwind, just based on the way this looks. I mean, it can use a lot of stuff. It can burn, it can use Strength Sap, you name it, you might be able to use it. It may even, I know it has some weather options too, so it can really do whatever you need it to do. We don't have the teams set here. I'm really kind of bummed that we don't, because I'm pretty interested in seeing what that would look like. But, you know, it is what it is. We can speculate, and I almost am assuredly thinking that's kind of where this is going. And then in 8th place here, we have VGC Cringe, or VG Cringe, excuse me. I mean, look, there's nothing really to cringe about on this team. It's one of the, I mean, it's a 3 Amigos team.
The 3 Amigos!
You know, like, you got the Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Volcarona protecting Xerneas. That's what you do. And it's got Landorus Incarnate. Again, another fairly self-explanatory, fairly reasonable option here. And then it does have Suicune, which is interesting for sure. You know, Suicune is a very interesting way to deal with some of the fire mons that Xerneas is going to deal with. It also is kind of a nice option for you know, potentially sort of walling Water Urshifu. Xerneas shouldn't have too much trouble with that, but you know, Xerneas doesn't get the special the physical defense boost to get special defense boost, so it could be vulnerable to a Surging Strikes, particularly if Urshifu was like sashed or something like that. So you know, again, we're not really redefining the meta here with VG Cringe, but still, a very good team. You know, very, very good to see Suicune doing well, and it goes to show, like, we do have these cores, you know, of like 3 or 4 mons that are common, but outside of that, we have, excuse me, outside of that, we do have a lot of room for innovation, and that's where you're seeing the Suicune and Landorus Incarnate become options here as the, you know, players start to pick and choose the kind of things they want to really help make their team a powerhouse. So yeah, everybody, that was the event there. That was the GForcePkmn event. Shoutouts to the top 8 players, all of them. You know, obviously getting top cut of any event is a huge accomplishment, and you guys deserve all the respect in the world for doing so. Especially in a meta that is still pretty brand new and technically isn't even out yet. So that's all I have for you. Let me know what your favorite team was down in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite mon was down in the comments below, because I'm very interested to know what y'all think about some of these teams and some of the more meme type things we're seeing. Do you guys think that's cool? Do you think it's weird? Let me know. That being said, again, if you guys do like this kind of content, please make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel in order to join our amazing community. And keep an eye out for all the Series 10 content we have coming out this week, because we are going to be releasing quite a lot of it in the build-up to Series 10 releasing next Sunday. So, that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for being here with me. I have been Blaine for Bridgefourgames, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. See you around. Bye-bye.